Dan, first of all, we've had a few minutes to sort of compose yourself and think about it. How do you feel about that performance?
Yeah, I feel like I showed a new feather in my cap. I showed how well-rounded I am as a fighter. I made the right adjustments to the game that he was doing. Like, he was kind of playing his game, and he was just waiting on me for that first round. He would wait for me to commit to anything and then step through over the top with his hands. So I just made the right adjustments and kind of just gave him a taste of his own medicine and just went away from his strengths. Like, if he's going to just do that, I'm just going to make the adjustments. I'm just grabbed a hold of him and felt I was a lot stronger than he was, and I just used it to show how well-rounded I am.
I know you sort of made like it's not a big deal and stuff like that, but now you've had the fight and you've won the fight. How hard has this last training camp been with the lockdown and everything like that?
Oh, very crazy. This like a bit of an undersell, but it's just been like pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong in this training camp. Like, it was crazy, bro. I signed this fight. Maybe that was like the bad thing about it. Like, I signed this fight on the Sunday, and then Tuesday we went into just a full lockdown. Like, everything shut down. But Huge came up with like a quick plan to move everyone to the gym, and then cops come shut that down, and then training in the gym, got caught there. Cops come shut that down, and they just told me, man, we catch you doing anything one more time and we're going to arrest you. So I was just training the last 4 weeks. I've just been training in my house, in my garage, just shadowboxing, staying sharp, going to the track with my wife and my daughter for the last 5 weeks. So that was like, that was challenging, getting yourself up for that. Like, like getting yourself down there, working hard, pushing yourself every single day, like a couple of times of the day, working like that was, it was hard to get yourself up. So then when I was getting the visa issues, I was like, man, everything that I've done to get myself out of bed every single morning and push myself by myself to get to this moment, and for you to take that from me, I'm not having it. Turned to social media, got everyone behind me, and it's not the first time. Like, I've turned to social media in the past before to get myself in the UFC in the first place. I think it was harass for the hangman was the hashtag, and we used that. And I used that social media campaign to get myself in the UFC. So when I was faced with a problem I couldn't solve, I went back to the people that got me there. I don't fight for this Sport New Zealand or anything like that. Like, I'll fight for the Kiwis back home that have my back. Those are the people that I step in the octagon for.
You've done this a lot of times, right? You know how to fight, but after a training camp like that, where it is just yourself and shadowboxing stuff, is there any part of you that think, man, I might not perform to the best of my abilities in there? Is there any sort of self-doubt as you head in and out to the cage?
No, I feel like this last camp, been working with some, after the last loss, and I've taken losses in the past before, and you throw your toys out the cot and you start again from scratch and you like rebuild. I didn't do that this last time, because I know that I know how good my team is and the people who are around me. So rather than take anything away and replace it, I kept my team. I backed them, and I backed myself, and I added some new people to the team. A couple of David Neath, like mental performance coach back in New Zealand, so I added him, and also some new looks with David Eagle, and he's also been helping my game a lot. So I added to this. I didn't take anything away because my team's incredible. I added two people, David Neath and David Eagle, into this camp.
And then post-fight, caught up Beneil Dariush. He's
the only one sitting there without a fight. If you look at the rankings, every single last one of them's booked except Tony Ferguson and Beneil Dariush. They just fought, so it doesn't make sense for that fight to happen again. So Beneil Dariush is sitting there without a dance partner, and that gets me out of bed in the morning. That gets me excited. A fight like that, I like the look of his little number there, so I would love to take that off him.
No interest in our man?
I already got that fight. You know what I mean? Why do you need to ask for something you already have? I already got him holding on to my pocket. I already got him. I already got that boy chasing me around the playground, if you know what I mean. There's no point asking for something you already got.
Last thing for me. You guys have spoke about moving to the States. Do you have any timeline on when that might be?
Oh man, that's up to my coaches. I'm just a body on the mat. I'm just another guy in the gym. it's my coaches that make all those decisions. I don't make any of the big decisions like that.
Right. At the beginning of round 3, I think from the outside looking in, it seems like Nasrat knew he was down 2 rounds and probably came out guns blazing, knowing he needed the finish. And the broadcast team maybe were wondering if you felt fatigue at all from not the best camp, maybe like an unstructured camp. So did you feel any fatigue set in round 3?
Nah, he was down 2 rounds. He needed to do something, and then your opportunity to do that is in the start of that round. This is not my first rodeo. I knew that was his opportunity. I knew that that's what he was doing. So what? If I stand there and throw back, I'm giving him exactly what he wants. What am I going to do? Don't be silly. Just wait till he slows down a bit. He slowed down. I grabbed a hold of him and worked to my strengths and used my advantages.
And on the Beneil Dariush, what did you make of his win over Tony Ferguson, his performance? What did you make of Beneil's performance?
When was that fight?
That was May, I think.
Oh man,
in Houston.
What card was that?
That was the Charles Oliveira, Michael.
Oh man, I was so pissed off what Michael Chandler won watching that fight back in New Zealand at my mate's house. So I can't even tell you how that fight went down.
What do you think of the lightweight fight that's coming up? Lightweight title fight between Poirier and Oliveira in December.
Yeah, I feel like Poirier's got that fight. I feel like he's I feel like he's got the advantages in that fight. I feel like he gets it done.
And what's the process of getting home? Is it just you have to quarantine 2 weeks when you get back?
Yeah, so that's why I pushed so hard to get on this card, because I had a spot to get back in New Zealand. That's why I made a fight where there was no fight. People got the wrong end of the stick when they saw this card and saw where I was on the card and saw who I was fighting. They were like, oh man, the UFC's kind of disrespecting Dan Hooker after a couple of main events and a co-main event, and they've chucked him down, and that's just really not how it went down. The UFC did me a solid. Sean Shelby did me a solid. He created a fight where there was no fight. I pretty much just started doing interviews and was just telling everyone that I was fighting on UFC 266. And then I started telling Sean, and he called me 5 weeks ago, and he's like, Dan, I don't have a space on that fight. I don't have an opponent. There's no one in the ranks that can fight you. And I was just like, Sean, this has to happen. This is just happening. So I willed it to happen. And I feel like if I wasn't Dan Hooker, I feel like if I hadn't have done all the heavy lifting that I've done over the last few years for the UFC, that they wouldn't have made this fight happen. So credit to Sean for making this fight. Credit to Nasrat for stepping up to the plate and taking a fight, which, man, last 5 months I've been trying to fight everyone in the rankings. They can say what they want to say, but I could show you my phone with the emails just being like, Dan, there's no one. Dan, there's no one. So actually, Nasrat just DM'd me on Instagram and was just like, hey, I heard you're looking for a fight. I'll fight you. And I just said, quit selling, boy. You're sold. Let's go.
Did you say anything to Nasrat after the fight? I know you both went through kind of similar situations getting here.
I just went up, yeah, thanks for the fight, bud. And then he was like, hey, I thought we were going to throw down. You're a wrestler now. You're going to throw down. I said, you're having a go at me. You're staring at me for 5 minutes waiting on me, and now you're giving me shit for taking you down. I was just giving you a taste of your own medicine, but that's all that was.
Dan, to your right over here. Nick Diaz is coming back tonight, and I know you've expressed interest in fighting him and Nate, before this fight. Nate in the building, you want to try and set that up now?
I feel like it's chasing unicorns, waiting for that fight. To be honest, my priority is the title. If that fight came to fruition, I would 100% take that fight. But my eyes are firmly fixed on the title. Anything that comes outside of that can come. But man, that gold belt around my waist, there ain't nothing that's gonna stop me from getting my hands on it.
Was it kind of nicer to be lower on a card rather than a main event or in a really high-profile spot in terms of the pressure tonight? Pressure for me is I'm under as much pressure as I put myself under. I don't feel any external pressure. I feel like if I put pressure on myself, I feel pressure. But whether you put me in a pub in Auckland with 10 people there, or whether you put me in the main event of a pay-per-view, you're gonna get it. I'm gonna fight.
the same way that I fight.
Congrats, Dan.
Thank you.
Dan,
right over here.
The reaction of your country to the pandemic, I was wondering what your general overall thoughts were to that, especially when you come over here and you're fighting in front of a crowd of about 17,000 people and most aren't wearing masks.
Oh, brother, I'm a cage fighter. Like, that's my political expertise and my my fifth form science. 70% or 60% in fifth form science is probably not. I'm not educated enough on the topic to give a public statement. You know, I can just speak from my personal experience, where it's impacting me pretty hard in the way that I train and the way that I fight. So rather than sit on my hands and complain about it, I'm working through it, I'm pushing through it, and I'm going to continue to chase my dreams.
After the fight, you had words of praise for your opponent, Nasrat, and you went through a lot of adversity getting here, and then you said, it didn't even get up to the level of what he went through. How important was that for you to give him his due while you were there in the octagon?
Yeah, I just wanted to, because that's just the fact of the situation. Like, losing a mother is something that I've never experienced, so it's something that I can't even comprehend what he's going through to get here, or what he went through to get here. So it's very difficult for me, like, training in my garage compared to losing a mother. Like, that's incomparable. What he went through to get here should really get a lot of credit and a lot of respect. I feel like he's a talented young kid. I feel like he's got a massive future in the sport. It was just a bit much too soon, but he'll learn from it. He'll grow. He'll come back, and I'm sure we'll see each other again in the future.
What words did you share with him?
Besides giving each other shit after the fight, that was that was all it really was. Like, I'm sure we'll talk again, or I'll see him around and catch up and have a proper conversation. But
congrats.
Dan, in the middle. Israel Adesanya had said that he was not going to fight again in his home country because of how you were treated. Have you talked to him about that, and how do you feel about his demonstrative statement?
I can definitely see where he's coming from. I can definitely see he's speaking from the heart. He's upset about the situation, and I feel like the powers that be showed their true colors. I feel like Sport New Zealand, I feel like the bigwigs in the media back home in New Zealand, they've just kind of been playing nice with us because we've been getting so much attention for the country. They've been playing along, playing nice of us, and then they saw opportunity to put a lid on us or put a cap on us, and they showed their true colors of what they really wanted to do, which was stop MMA and the UFC getting massive in New Zealand. But it's a part of New Zealand culture. Combat sports is a part of our DNA in New Zealand, and we're going to push through no matter what. So when I say that, yeah, I'm willing to come over here and move to the States to continue. It's not because I want to move away from New Zealand or take anything away from New Zealand. No, I want to keep the ball rolling for New Zealand. I want to keep the ball rolling for my people. I don't want to just go back home and stay in my house and shut up and stay quiet and do what they want me to do, which is not train, not fight, sit on my hands, shut my gym down, and not continue to grow the sport in New Zealand. No, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to continue to train. I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to continue to make sure that the UFC and MMA in New Zealand has a massive future, and it's not going anywhere. So the powers that be, in the way that I say that, can kiss my ass, because we are not going anywhere. We are a sport. We are a part of New Zealand culture, and it's going to be there for a very long time.